Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and just a quick update for you and a few words about the Vulcan really. So as you can see, Scruffy, Dirty Hands back out on the Land Rover again, been doing a bit of spraying today and need to give it another coat tomorrow. So that's all good. Today is Thursday the 29th, is it? 29th of July 2021. So yeah, start up saying a big thanks to all those new subscribers that have come along. It seems like the Vulcan, or maybe Airfix, I don't know, has attracted a lot of new people, so that's great. Thank you very, very much. For you Titanic lovers out there, I have got a new product on the way from Canada, and I think a lot of you are going to want them. And the guy from Canada is actually sending me a little bundle of them, so that anybody in the UK that wants, and UK only that wants them, they can save on the postage and get them from me rather than pay all that postage from Canada, because at the moment postage is very expensive, as we know. So so that's a good little bit of good news for you. I also want to say a big thank you to all those that contribute to the channel. Some new people have joined in on Patreon. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I've just, as you know, just bought a new camera. I'm still learning the ropes with that one. I'm going to get some lighting now, and I think maybe over the winter, maybe give this whole room a revamp. I don't know. We shall see. I need to get that bloody Land Rover done before the wet and windy weather comes back. The Vulcan is coming along nicely. I'm just filming part 13 right now. I'm just working on something which has prompted me to do this video. This is a video I've been meaning to do a couple of days, and this little event that's just happened is a little message to the beginners out there about basically what's coming your way if you're building this kit and you are fairly new to the hobby. When you reach stages 137 and 138, it's assembling the boarding ladder. Okay, now it's beautifully designed, okay, and it's well molded, you could say, but because it's beautifully designed, well molded, and it's to scale, it's very, very fiddly, and there are no real connection points where you're putting these parts on here, G13 and G14. You're fixing the railings to the ladder. There's no real contact areas marked out or anything. All you've got, and I will show you in the video, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to film this, but I don't know if you can see that, but on the actual bottom end of the railing part, the handrail part, is the end part of the bottom ladder. So I don't think I'll show you in the actual video, part 13. But my words to you are, if you are new to the hobby and you've just started your model, jump ahead to G13 and G14. If you're intending to have it wheels down, boarding ladder down, see if you can build that assembly up. And now I've done this off of they're telling you to put the ladder part onto the door and then add the railings after. I'm doing it separately like this, so that I can prime it white and then paint it yellow and then glue it to the door, rather than have to mask everything up. So I'm doing it this way round. But as I say, if you are planning to build your model with the door open and the ladder down, and you are a beginner, you may want to reconsider, jump forward, have a go at this and see how you get on. My kit, the part G14, okay, so that'd be the left-hand one, was snapped. Well, it wasn't snapped. As soon as I took it off a sprue, it just fell apart. And this often happens when you've got injection issues. I'm sure you've seen it on a lot of kits, older kits in particular, where you get holes in the sprue connectors next to the parts, and that's where the mold isn't packed and the plastic shrunk. And you'll sometimes get it on thin, flimsy parts as well. They just literally fall apart where the sprue connectors are, and that's because there's cavities, air if you like, in the actual plastic. So it's rather than being a solid piece of 1mm diameter plastic like this should be, it's just literally, if you cut it apart, it's like a bubble, and it's just the outer shell holding it together, so it just falls apart. And it was also, mine was all deformed on the end. So have a go at that, see how you get on. It's just my little tip for the newbies out there really, but it's not easy at all, and it just doesn't want to sit right. You've got to play with it a bit. So but we'll cover that in part 13. I also wanted to talk about the comments, getting some quite fruity comments about Airfix on the Vulcan build, and also I've seen a bit of conflict between different people as well. calm down, you know. It's at the end of the day, it's only a plastic model. Yes, the quality is not what it could be. As I have said, if this model, if they sent the molds to Tamiya or to a good injection molding company, then I think the quality would be a lot better than it is. I don't think anything wrong with this model is to do with the design or Airfix or whatever. I did say in my review I thought the plastic was better. I think it is better than the Hellcat. It may well be the same plastic, it's just the parts are thicker or smaller, I don't know. But it just feels a little bit harder. It feels more towards like Revell plastic rather than the usual soft Airfix stuff. But there are definite issues. I've seen some other people talking about. I haven't purposely watched any other builds, and the only review I've watched is Phil Flory. Nothing else. That is all. Certainly my port wing is shorter in length than my starboard wing, and I don't think the mold was made that way. It's shrinkage, and certainly when I put the air brakes in, the recesses in the port wing were deeper than the recesses in the starboard wing. My front fuselage section when glued together was smaller than the actual diameter of the fuselage section at the front of the wing. And you know I had loads of problems with sink marks. I've got sink marks all along here, all rack here, down here, all down there, and then all across the back of here. It was absolutely covered in sink marks. So and then the same on the other side of the wings as well, all across here. Wing tips there are basically made of Mr. Surfacer. So yeah, so you know, my opinion. I've heard somebody commented that they saw an interview with a guy from Airfix, and he basically said that when they moulded the parts in the UK, people complained about the plastic. Well, my answer to that would be is change the plastic. You know, if you like using this plastic in your Indian mold tools or in your Indian moulding companies, and you're saying that people like this and don't like the other one, then use this plastic in the UK. You know, it's all about money at the end of the day, and the reason there is shrinkage there, and the reason you get shrinkage for a couple of reasons. Quite often it's where you'll have like a thin section, say a wing section, and you might have like a teardrop on it, like on a Spitfire wing, and often you'll see what the manufacturer will do is they'll mould it so that it's a 1mm thick skin, and then it goes up and it comes across like that. If they mould it as a solid lump, you will get shrinkage if you don't process the part properly. So if you take it out of the part, if you don't pack the mould, if you use cheap plastic, and if you take it out too quickly before it's cured, it will shrink when it cures. Okay, so the optimum way. I've been a principal engineer in a moulding environment, and basically the optimum way to get everything right is to get all your temperatures right, get your cycle times right, so that nothing's shrinking after it comes out of the mould, and also pack the mould. You know, the risk of packing the mould is flash. Okay, the risk of not packing the mould is short shots and shrinkage. All right, so get one of your old kits, have a look. I'm sure you'll find one where there are loads of holes. When you look at the sprue here, you will see holes all along here where the sprue, where the parts meet. You'll see holes, and that's where the mould's not packed. And some of the older Revell kits had a lot of that on them. And then where you get shrinkage, you've got thin and thick sections. That is just because they're just taking them out of the mould too quick. And I think that's the problem with mine, which is why one wing is shorter than the other. I don't think Airfix made the tool that way. I think the tool for this is probably one of Airfix's best ever. I just think the processing is rubbish. And a lot of people are just saying, I notice a lot of people who leaving quite fruity comments about bringing the moulding back to the UK. And, you know, let's face it, guys, if they bring the moulding back to the UK and run the same process, it makes no difference. It makes no difference if it's moulded in England, America, France, Germany, China, India, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you use the same process, you're going to get the same result. Same plastic, same machines, same process, same result. So that's what it is. So that's basically my opinion. And also the other thing is, I feel that if you spoke to Tamiya and said that we're getting these kits and they've got sink marks in them and blah blah blah, they would be on the case like that, you know, without doubt. I think they have a lot more care and a lot more passion for their product than the management, shall we say, at Airfix do. I should imagine it is a case, because I've been in engineering all my life, and I should imagine it is a case of at Airfix you've got the designer of this thing who wants perfection, and he wants this and he wants that and he wants something else, and I expect the bean counters are going no, 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 no. Okay, that's the way it works. And I'm not going to tell you any of my stories. All I could tell you is when I was at Rolls-Royce as an engineer, if I thought a product had to have this amount of material in this area and we had to have a flange this thick for support while we machine that part, that's what happened. In other environments, the questions are asked, why are you adding material? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You need to try it without. You need to do this. You need to do something else. And then when it doesn't work, you've got to make it work, but without expense. And that's the way things are these days. And that's why a lot of products we buy are generally not very good. Unless you get a company that has solid pride in their work and pride in their product, and they care about quality rather than cost. If this was a £30 model, I'd be quite happy with that. But it's not. It's a £60 model. It's a £60 1/72 scale bomber, and it's not worth £60. No way. It's worth £30. If it was a perfect kit, you see, this is the thing. Everyone says if Tamiya released it, it would be £80. What would you rather pay, £80 for a 100% perfect model, or £60 for a 60% perfect model? Up to you. Maybe you don't care about sink marks, maybe you don't care about fit issues and stuff like that, then fine. The other thing, I was chatting to a friend the other night about this in the pub. He's not a modeler, but he's sort of interested in what I do. And I said to him about this, and he said, yeah, but you got to remember, Nigel, the thing is, when you start talking about Tamiya and stuff, people always think professional models, you know, models made for professional modelers. And the Airfix stuff is probably considered more as like toys, you know, because you get them in like, when we had Toys R Us and bloody Aldi and all that. And I said, no, I agree that maybe the name Airfix is more synonymous with toys than, say, Tamiya or Takom or Meng is, but when you're charging £60 for a 1/72 scale bomber, that is no longer a toy. When you're talking about a £5 starter set of a 1950s mould, you know, Golden Hind or something with 3 paints and a shitty old brush in the box, then yeah, that's maybe classed as a toy. This is not a toy. It should be better than it is. So come on, Airfix, you need to up your game and make things better. So that's my moan about that. But quick sneak preview of the bombs. There we go, with the decals on. Very nice indeed. So don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with this model, and I'm happy with the work I've had to do. To be quite honest with you, some Tamiya kits I find, you know, it's like, I don't want to build it. It's just because I know it's going to be paint, glue, finished. You know, whereas with this you can carve about and make some work out of it, and you know, you've got to get those intakes right and everything. And this, the fit of these intakes is probably the best I've ever seen. So can't grumble there. But anyway, that's my words about the Airfix Vulcan, and that's that. And as I say, if you are new to the hobby and you're thinking about having that ladder down, get on and build that ladder now. If you can't manage it, you might decide to close the hatch. I'll see you all later, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.